Swung on and missed a perfect save.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. Mikey Kershaw pitches a no-hitter. It is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner. It's over. 1-0. A walk-off home run. This is way back. Walk 'em off. Chris Taylor. It's time.
Another payoff. Finally got him with his slider.
Otani. It's Teoscar Hernandez. Mookie masked. It's a grand slam. A showstopper and game ender.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Thanks for joining us after a wild game where the Dodgers beat the Mariners 6-3. They improved to 75-52. And after all the injuries, all the ups and downs this season, we're almost 80% through the year. And the Dodgers today, your boys in blue, have the best record in baseball. And we're going to talk all about it. Walker Buehler. Everyone out there, Walker Buehler's done. Time to move on for Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler shouldn't make another start. Those same people were saying the same thing about Gavin Lux. Some thoughts about Walker Buehler, why you should not give up on Walker Buehler just yet. Yes, it wasn't his best outing, but was it a step in the right direction? We'll get into that, but let me know down below in the comment section where you're representing Dodgers Nation from tonight. Give me those cities. Give me those zip codes. What was your biggest takeaway? This was a wild game. C.B. Buckner needs to be suspended. The FBI needs to get involved for the calls today that C.B. Buckner made. You had Walker Buehler saying, that's an effing strike, CB. You had Dave Roberts running out there to stop his pitcher. Max Muncy running in from third base. You had a home run hit by Gavin Lux, his 10th of the season. That was the hidden ball trick, but with a home run where it disappeared and it comes under the wall and that goes as a bomb. You have Jason Hayward, who it looked like maybe he's going to go on the IL. Maybe he's a DFA candidate. He says, not so fast, my friend. And he hits a go-ahead 3-run shot in the 8th inning. The Dodgers score 6 unanswered runs, and they beat this Mariners team. And they continue to stay in the West on top of the Diamondbacks, on top of the San Diego Padres. Don't tell me this team doesn't have grit and guts. This is a very different team than years past. I think this Dodgers team, they have the makings of a very special team. And games like this are games that play up in October. Tommy Edman making an incredible play at shortstop. His first wow play defensively. You are going to fall in love with Tommy Edman. Rosemary Rodriguez talking about Dave Roberts, saying Dave made all the right calls on that pinch hit. The pinch hit for Jason Hayward. Yeah, Rosemary Rodriguez, give you the fire take right there. And I'll say it for you. No, hire Dave Roberts tonight. Not fire Dave Roberts. It's hire Dave Roberts. Dave was in his bag. Thought he did a great job tonight, pushing the right buttons in the right spots. I think the bullpen as a whole having to cover after Walker Buehler did not give them the length that they wanted out of him. You sort of came to expect that with Walker Buehler, but still, you get the bullpen to cover 5 innings, and they don't give up a run. They only get 1 hit, and that was Daniel Hudson at the end of the game who picks up the save. Joe Kelly gets the win, his first of the season. Daniel Hudson picks up the save, his 10th of the season. We're going to talk about Walker Buehler's outing. He goes 4 innings, gives up 3 runs on 7 hits, just 1 strikeout, 3 walks, 82 pitches to get through 4 innings, 50 for strikes, ends up going 14 for 21 on first pitch strikes. So, yes, it was falling behind the count in certain spots. I think you need to see more curveball from Walker Buehler. There were some positives. Made some missed pitches to Polanco that he took advantage of. But people out there, I'm telling you, the same people that are saying to trade Gavin Lux for a better parking space and a bag of half-eaten Cheetos, those same people are the people that are saying, forget Walker Buehler, change the security code to the Dodger facility, because you don't shy away from pitching depth at this level. In the blink of an eye, you can lose starters. So you still have to develop Walker Buehler as much as you can into the reinvented version of Walker Buehler before you can kick him to the curb, because there were some positives. We're going to break it down in depth. Got some thoughts on that, but let me know down below in the comment section what were your thoughts on this game. A game that was over 3 hours. Nice backdrop, David Sabatini. Hey, we are outside of Dodger Stadium. It's the nighttime. It's Dodgers Nation after dark. Dodgers dugout after dark. So, you know, it's nighttime here at Dodger Stadium. We got Jose Maria. What a win for the Dodgers. Dave Roberts did a damn good job today. Lux and Muncy are so back. The bullpen carried tonight. And, of course, the Jason Hayward 3-run bomb. Let's go, Dodgers. Give me a comment to the show right there, Jose. I'm feeling it. I like the all caps. I'm a big all caps guy. Trust me, I respect that. Yuku Productions, a $1.99 super chat. Go Dodgers. Jay Hay is Jay Clutch. How about Jason Hayward? Jason Hayward coming off the bench in a big spot. He made a statement tonight. First big takeaway tonight. We're going to circle all the way back and break this down inning by inning like we always do. But top of the show, Jason Hayward, who is not having the same season as he had last year with the Dodgers when he had a 120 weighted runs created plus, and he hit 15 home runs. He hasn't been that same player offensively, and with Mookie Betts taking over right field, his options were limited. Dave did tell us yesterday that he likes him off the bench. He likes him playing some center field to have some options. Yes, you have Edman, you have Kiermaier, you already optioned Andy Pages, but Jason Hayward going up. By the way, this Dodgers team, this was one of the best bullpens in baseball. Munoz, one of the best relievers in baseball. And for Jason Hayward to come off the bench, big 3-run shot, he's saying, you know what? Chris Taylor, Andy Pages, the guys that are fighting for that 13th roster spot in the postseason, Jay Hay is saying that he's here to stay. How about Jason Hayward? Big 3-run shot to put the Dodgers on top, 6-3 in the 8th.
Hayward drills the ball down the line towards the corner. It's gone! Pitch hit home run. Jason Hayward. Dodgers take the lead in the 8th.
And just being in that clubhouse throughout this entire season, if I had to list whose clubhouse this is, it's 3 guys at the top. Clayton Kershaw's King Kersh. Then you have Mookie Betts. Then you have Freddie Freeman. Outside of those 3 guys, Jason Hayward is as respected and as admired as anyone in that clubhouse. And you know who loved Jason Hayward the most? The 2 guys who it is their clubhouse, Freddie Freeman, who is his best friend, and Mookie Betts, who's developed a very strong relationship with Jason Hayward. So just one game, one at bat, huge moment, but big takeaway for me, Jason Hayward is planting his flag, saying this is my roster spot. I want to be a part of this team. And maybe that back isn't going to flare. Maybe those knees aren't going to be sore when it's time to make a roster decision on Jason Hayward. But let's read some of your comments. You guys are on fire tonight. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation postgame show, the #1 Dodgers postgame show on YouTube, on the #1 Dodgers YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. That way you're eligible for our live giveaways, our in-season giveaways. We're giving away a Shohei Ohtani Road Authentic. We will be giving it away by the end of this week, once we hit 95,000. And all you have to do to be eligible, subscribe to the channel, have those notifications on, and comment Go Tani down below. The second that you're subscribed and you comment Go Tani, you are eligible and you're entered to win. It's as easy as that. Jose Aguirre says, Jay Hay made Roberts look like a genius. DKM, hey Mariners, who's your daddy? Hey, I like that, man. I'll give you a fire ticket. Who's your daddy action right there. Never gets old. Michael Ferry, Knack needs to be in the rotation. Can't be throwing Walker and Miller out right now. If he had a lead, I could live with it, but can't afford them with San Diego and the Diamondbacks on our tail. There's no doubt about that. That if you're just looking at this season and what we've seen so far, it's not like Walker Buehler's only had a couple starts. He's had 10 starts, and he's had tons of opportunities to the minor leagues to rehab. But having said that, the velocity compared to what we saw a couple of seasons ago It's not terribly off that at all whatsoever. The secondaries, they're getting better. If you break down the start, you go pitch for pitch. Tonight, four-seam fastball averaged 95.7 miles per hour. The four-seam fastball is up 0.6 miles per hour tonight. The slider usage, 16%. The curveball, though, at 9%. I think his curveball is his best pitch out of his secondaries. I think you need to up the usage of the curveball, balance that out a little bit, and put hitters away. But I think it's just premature to say, okay, Walker Buehler's done. Because this is someone who's coming off his second Tommy John surgery, and the delivery is better. The delivery is more consistent. His move to the plate is more consistent. It's just there's some spots where he's not consistently executing pitches. And I'm not saying it's my game 1, 2, or 3, or 4 starter. I'm not even guaranteeing he's on the postseason roster at this point. I'm just saying that you have to keep guys warm and give them more opportunities. And yes, absolutely. Have Justin Robleski and Landon Knack earned starts over Walker Buehler based on their performance this season alone? No doubt about it. 100%. There's no denying that whatsoever. But upside play, I think that's where the conversation begins. Now, let's start to break this one down. Let's read 10 comments. I'm going to read 10 comments right here. We're going to break this one down for sure. Rosemary says, Buehler needs to stop being who he was and be who he is now. It's a great take. Love you, D-Mac. Love you, Oscar. Caught you over on YouTube. We got Pika Peep in the chat. Tonight's game showed me something about the Dodgers right now. Absolutely. The E-Cast, watch out for Buehler, baby. Watch the mother flipper. He's going to have a great end of the season. Flaherty for the sweep from Reno San. Yeah, I'm excited to see Jack Flaherty in person. Be covering the game tomorrow. It's going to be exciting. A $4.99 super chat from Smacks Upper Lip. Walker can walk himself off the mound. Worst team in the league and still couldn't even go 5. So I understand and I get the emotion about Walker Buehler. DCam, hey D-Mac, I'm repping my Ohtani jersey. Got to respect that. Let's keep it going. We got Roster Crunch is Crunch from Rosemary. Absolutely. I miss Pajes from Jonas. Jay Hey, Mr. Clutch. Jay Hey, that's what veterans do when it counts from Mims 2255. DFA Doc, John Fernandez. He had a good night. And we're going to hire Dave Roberts tonight. Okay? It was a good night for Doc. This is the guy who said that sometimes if there's a wrong button to push, Doc will push it. Tonight wasn't that night. Joe Davis all day DCam. I love the ball don't lie call on the when Moore was out at first after he pinch ran for Polanco there. Thought that was a great call by Joe Davis. What up, Anthony Keene? My man, always representing. Always appreciate you. Michael Snow, D-Mac, how did you go from being the best hitting catcher in baseball to being an under 200 hitter? We'll talk about my performance at the plate of late, and for sure, guys can't always be on hot streaks. And yes, Will Smith isn't at his best right now, but BC DFA Taylor Leon J, where are all the whiners? Best record in baseball, but you wanted Roberts fighter, you wanted Hayward DFA'd, and Lux traded for Rosarena. Let them cook. That's a fire take. It's a fire take. I always say Major League Baseball is a sport where it's 162 games where you're furious about something the entire time, even if your team wins. So I understand the sentiment. Trust me. Gavin Lux is playing the gambit. He's about to make a name for himself. Javier, in short, Gavin Lux is carrying this team. He has been the Dodgers' best player in the second half of the season with a bullet, full stop. And he has been a top 8 to 10 player in baseball. I asked Dave Roberts yesterday, I said, hey, Dave, when you look at the first 3+ months of Gavin Lux's season and his struggles, one of the least productive hitters in baseball. Then after the All-Star break, shout out to Augie Schmidt, his uncle. They worked on some things in Milwaukee. They said, let's go back to being aggressive early in counts, like we saw in the minor leagues, like we saw when you're at your best. They took that approach, and then what happened? Gavin Lux happened. And he's been ridiculous for this team in the second half of the season. He has been a top 10 player in Major League Baseball. And Dave Roberts, I asked him, is this the most dramatic turnaround you have ever seen in your time managing? And he said yes. He's never seen anything like this before. It's one of the best stories, not just for the Dodgers, but all of Major League Baseball this season. Eddie Chavez, $25, that Roberts is all right. Hey, man, I'll give you a little comment of the show for that. BC, it's a nice home run, but Hayward 182 with RISP, and he has a career 148 playoff average, has a lot to prove. BC, this Jason Clutchword, I like that. Jason Clutchword. Yeah, trust me, this is not a guarantee. D-Mac, hope your arm is okay. Don't want Pasillas coming for you. Hey, man, yeah, it could happen, right? Definitely. Alfonso, go. Gavin Lux, go. Gavin Lux, Gavin Stone. We got Richard Flores. I am glad that's their competition for roster spots. Playing meaningful baseball late in the season. Guys want jobs. Absolutely. Go, Tawny, like and subscribe. Absolutely. JR, this Dodgers team finally feels different. I know if they could stay close, they would come back. Jose Moreo, these umpires want to ruin this game for the Dodgers, but my man Jason Hayward says otherwise. We are not going to let this fossil CB Buckner ruin the game for us. Revelo 1, go Tawny. Keep your comments going, guys. D-Mac, need to put some respect on JK. You're right. He's a leader. Absolutely. Joe Kelly absolutely has looked better. You guys are firing away, so I want to show you some love before we get into this breakdown here. We got Juice Narrows. The butane tank is empty. Time to switch it out. DFA. Not just yet. And it could happen, but not just yet. But remember, Walker was a Cy Young candidate from... Yeah, you know what's crazy? Imagine a couple years ago, I said we're in 2024, and Walker Buehler, Julio Urias, Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, none of these guys are factoring in to the front of the rotation. It just is a true representation of how quickly baseball can come at you. Life comes at you quick, baseball comes at you quicker. And we've seen that. We got Anthony King. Butane isn't done, far from it, but I question if you can get it fully together to be helpful to us this season. Yeah, I mean, these are all fair takes. They're all fair takes. But we got a 1999 super chat from John Schuster. I love seeing how fired up Dave was with his team and fighting for them with the bad calls. That's how a good manager should be. Yeah, Dave was lit tonight. Dave was fired up for sure. JR, D-Mac, I just came from the other YouTube channel. They're saying he's done, but you're right, he looks better. Hey, all respect to those guys, man. I'm cool with those, with good, especially Blake. Blake's my man, so it's all love. But we can have different opinions, man. It's all good. But what up, D-Mac from Nick Romero? Caps. D-Mac, what do you think about the out call on Rivas' home plate? I think he was safe. Man, I feel we're going to see more BS calls from New York in October. It's going to be shady AF. Yeah, I mean, that one was a tough one. I think if you saw the play in some of those replays that we saw tonight, they felt like they could have gone either way, but I definitely do agree that it did feel like the vast majority of the calls were not in the Dodgers' favor. But, yeah, let's talk about Walker Buehler. So that's the lead story tonight is Walker bleeping Buehler. And I think coming into the start, the first thing you kind of had to ask yourself, was this going to be progress? Was it a rough outing? The answer is yes. No one is denying that. Can you be a little optimistic about certain things you saw tonight? You can as well. And, look, couple years removed from that 2022 season where he was already trying to reinvent himself. You didn't see the same effectiveness with the four-seam fastball. He wasn't throwing it as much. And he goes up against the Mariners team, who was last in the league in batting average, third to last in OPS. And this was a good opportunity for him to really just take a massive step forward and just reestablish himself as a part of this rotation. And he ends up giving up 3 runs across 4 innings. And, yeah, that doesn't say, oh, that's awful, he got chased or anything like that. But you give up 7 hits and 3 walks, and you strike out just 1 hitter. And for the Dodgers to stay in this game, you really had to have Walker Buehler strand base runners the way he did. And is he reliable moving forward? Is it someone you can trust? It just depends on the status of your rotation and how you want to move forward with him personally. Because I think that the issue with Walker Buehler is Tyler Glasnow's on the IL. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he's a couple weeks from getting back into this rotation. So I think for right now, the worst case scenario, the floor for Buehler is saying, okay, is this someone that can go out there, cover as many innings, and then what happens at that point? Well, how do those guys look like when they're returning? How does the rest of the rotation look? Are they healthy? If they are, then sure, he doesn't make the postseason roster, and that's fine. But if something does happen to those guys, you could have worse options than a Walker Buehler if it comes down to that. And I think for me, the big the big kicker for him as far as his performance alone is it's kind of more of the same. The stuff isn't terrible. The stuff isn't awful. What's bad is the command. You know what I say? If you want to be the man, you have to have the command. Now, we break this one down. Top of the first inning, it looked like it was going to be efficient. He gets out the first two batters on 3 pitches. He gets Robles to fly out, then he gets Rodriguez to fly to center, and then the pitch count goes up. Second pitch to Raleigh, 4-seam fastball, leaves it middle, up in the zone. Raleigh doubles to left. Then he walks Raley on 5 pitches. So just like that, you got runners on first and second. Then he walks Arozarena to load the bases, and it's tightrope, tight pants Buehler in that situation. And then to Polanco, he gets ahead in the count. He's up 0-2, misses with the cutter on the 3rd pitch. In the 4th pitch, he goes sinker, 2-seamer, leaves it up, just didn't execute that pitch. He singled to right. That scores Raleigh and Raley to get the Mariners a 2-0 early lead. And then he gets Haniger to line to center for the 3rd out. So 2 runs on 2 hits on 28 pitches. If you look at that inning, though, first 2 batters, gets him out on 3 pitches. Then to Polanco, gets ahead in the count 0-2. So I think that's kind of one of the big takeaways is he can get to 2 strikes, and then it's can we get the put-away pitch? And on that 0-2, I don't like that pitch selection. I think there's a sequencing issue right now. When a guy is struggling with command, you don't want to throw as many 4-seam fastballs and sinkers in big spots as he's throwing. You want to try to get guys to chase, at least bite at something, and we saw some promise with that knuckle curve later in the game. So that first inning gets up 2 runs on 2 hits. And then you jump to top of the 2nd inning. He gets Rojas to ground to first. In that situation, it's either the reverse. Either he's up 0-2 or he's down 2-0. That at bat, he misses with the fastball up in the zone, arm side twice, and then he gets a strike swinging in the zone, and then he gets a strike looking with that knuckle curve, well placed, and then he uses that cutter to get the soft ground out. That's a much better sequence for Walker Buehler. Then he gives up the single to Rivas. Next batter, 4-seam fastball, up, out over the plate. And then a really nice push bunt by Robles there. Another at-bat where he's behind in the count, 2-0. And then a couple pitches later, really nice push bunt. And then that sets up the Mariners' runners on first and second. And then against Rodriguez, he gets up in the count 0-1, use that knuckle curve on the first pitch of the at-bat. And the second pitch, he gets him to ground into an inning-ending double play. So nice job stranding some runners there, working himself out of that jam. Then you jump to the top of the 3rd inning. First pitch to Raleigh. First pitch changeup up middle of the zone. So the sequencing is out of whack right there. I mean, you have to find a better attack plan for him, and then he bounces one. Raleigh gets to second on a wild pitch. Then he walks Raley on 4 pitches. That probably was his worst at-bat of the night as far as the command goes. And then he gets Arozarena to line to center for the first out, and then to Polanco. Same situation, up in the count 0-2, and then change up down in the zone, leaves it little middle, little up. He doubles to center. That scores Raleigh to give the Mariners a 3-0 lead, and then he gets a couple ground outs to end the inning. So he gives up 1 run on 2 hits there in the 3rd frame. Then he jumped to the top of the 4th, strikes out Rivas swinging. That was the best pitch of the night. That is the at-bat. That's the blueprint at-bat for me with Walker Buehler. Gets up ahead in the count, 0-2, misses twice, and then on the 2-2, knuckle curve down in the zone gets him swinging. So if he can be a little more edgy, find a way to get it on the black like we saw with Gavin Stone. Remember, Gavin Stone had a couple weeks giving up a ton of home runs. He's unable to find it on the edges of the zone. And then last night, boom, it was the Gavin Stone that we saw in Chicago because he was finding the edges. And that at-bat right there, Buehler's working down the zone, working on the edges, and finishing off hitters with a knuckle curve. And then to Robles, he gives up the double to right, and bat at bat misses Bally with the sweeper. Then he hits the 4-seam fastball middle of the zone. And the next batter, he gets Rodriguez to fly to short. And then he strikes out Raleigh, and he gets Raleigh to ground to first to end the inning. So, I mean, all in all, He was very frustrated. You saw the at-bat where he's trying to get that final strike there, and he's yelling at CB Buckner, "That's an effing strike, CB." There was frustration on his face. That looked like a man that was seeing things slip away. And all in all, it wasn't a great start, but they're just not going to just DFA Walker Buehler. You can have that take. That's fine. That's not what they're going to do. So let's just be honest here. The good luck's charm. We got Joe pulling Matthews. When Muncy is clicking, he makes the lineup so deep, he can hurt you at any time. I think the thing with Walker Buehler, too, is he's trying to be too fine. He's not trusting his stuff. It's almost like he's throwing a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, and he's kind of overthrowing it, and he's afraid that the drop in velocity is going to lead to an inability to attack hitters in the zone. He has to go out there and trust his stuff, not try to be too fine, execute pitches, and continue to work on that delivery. Talking to Gavin Stone yesterday, one of the big things that stood out to me is how quickly in a 1 week's time, a 2 weeks time, that the adjustment to your mechanics on your delivery and your force to the plate can change things and how it can improve your command. So I still want to see what Walker Buehler can do. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm just saying that starting pitching is at a premium. This Dodgers team has been ravaged by injuries with their pitching more than any team in baseball. So to say, okay, we're going to kick a guy that still throws 95 out to the curb doesn't make sense. And I think really, for me, the way I look at this, the fix to me would have been, you know what? He should have stayed down in AAA for a couple more starts. They rushed him back, in my opinion. You should have had Knack make some more starts, Robleski make some more starts, and then truly allowed him to work on those mechanics, work with Rob Hill down at the minor league level, and then you give him another opportunity. And they said, you know what, we're going to throw him here in the show, see what happens, and see if he can work things out on the fly. And I still think, though, the truth of the matter is if you're not feeling at least a tiny bit better about Walker Buehler after this start than what we saw from him in his last start against Milwaukee, then I don't know what sport you're watching. And sometimes the last thing to come for TJ, guys, it's not the velocity, it's the feel, and it's the mechanics, and it's those muscle memories that you're trying to find again. So, like I said, I think it's very risky to do that. We got to Frankie SRT 199 Super Chat. Appreciate you. Y'all realize we are going in as a wild card, right? For Ben Creighton. I love that take, even after a win tonight, but I like the take, man. It just made me laugh. BC, anyone who thinks Taylor should be brought back into this team is unserious. That's from BC. Once Walker, well, I think for me about Chris Taylor is, I think Chris Taylor and Kike Hernandez, you pick between one of those two guys. I truly do, because they do a lot of things on the same level. Kike's had a much better peak this season. Second half, yes. The last couple weeks, he has been in a slump. But defensively, the versatility, I mean, I think Kike more recently has postseason success as well. And look, I'm not saying that you don't give Chris Taylor an opportunity based on the fact you still owe him around $18 million. He's under contract for one more season. You're definitely stuck with him unless you want to eat that money, which I'm here to tell you, they don't. I can confirm that. So he's got to earn his spot on this team. Nothing is given. That's the motto for me. Everything earned, nothing given for the rest of this season. Gavin Lux, he earned his spot at second base. We got what was New York doing today? They were asleep. Rosemary Rodriguez, I do not know. But CB Buckner, this man needs to go to optometrist tomorrow. This guy needs to sign an endorsement deal with LensCrafters. I don't know if he had a reservation at the Palm and he was trying to get out of there a little early, but, I mean, the curveball that was up out of the zone of Mookie Betts, I mean, that was ridiculous. Buehler's command is still off. That's from Steven Tren. If you want to be the man, you have to have the command. Do you think the Padres and Diamondbacks gave the Dodgers a wake-up call? Here's the thing, too. Here's the thing. I will say this. Knowing what Connor McGinnis and Mark Pryor, what they know, if the Dodgers didn't think that there was still something there with Walker Buehler, it's not this what you've done for me in the past type thing. This team is changed. This is not the same Dodgers as years past. and I can just feel it. I can tell you it just because the Ohtani investment, Teoscar for 1 year, taking advantage of these primes. They're as hungry as any team to win a World Series. They're not doing Buehler any favors just because of what he did in 2019, 18, and 2020. That's not how this organization is rolling anymore. He's pitching because you're thinking 10 moves ahead. If the Dodgers and their brass thought like all the fans thought, where one guy struggles and then you tweet all their statistics when they're not performing well. Oh, okay, let's cut this guy. No. These guys are playing 4D chess, man. They realize it's a 162-game season with ebbs and flows. Hey, D-Mac, how do you feel about Kershaw on the 3,000 K journey? I feel great about it. 37 strikeouts away, baby. Hey, what I always say, he already has 3,000 strikeouts if you include those 200-plus in the postseason. But, yeah, absolutely. He might not get it this year, but he will eventually become the 20th pitcher in Major League Baseball history to throw 3K. He'll be the 4th lefty in history. Steve Carlton, Randy Johnson, CeCe Sabathia are the other southpaws to have 3,000 strikeouts. Knacker, Robleski, Raymond Guzman. How can I motivate you should be a speech on game day. Buehler is getting close, but might not be enough time this season. Victor Cervantes, for sure. By the way, if you haven't yet, guys, do us a huge favor. It really helps the channel if you do smash that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. So we'll get back to Buehler, but lots to talk about in this game. So bottom of the 4th inning, Dodgers trailing 3-1, full count to Gavin Lux, and he crushes a solo shot to center. His 10th home run of the season, already a career high. His previous career high was 7. That gives the Dodgers their first run of the night, and it goes over the wall, under the wall, and back. And it was the hidden ball trick, but with home runs. I have seen billions of Dodgers games, have never seen one go over the wall and back through. And I love it. The face on Gavin Lux was priceless. He was just confused, didn't know what to make of it. The Dodgers get the home run. Couple batters later, Mash Muncy, 2-1 count. He crushes a bomb to right, 407 feet. That gives the Dodgers another home run. They cut that Mariners lead to 1. Max Muncy homers in his 2nd consecutive game. He's been back for 2 games. He's hit 2 home runs. Max Muncy is a glue guy. He is absolutely one of the most important hitters on this team. He's the difference between these big droughts. He's a very unique hitter in that he hits a lot of home runs, also sees a lot of pitches, can draw walks, doesn't expend the strike zone. And I think that for me, he ain't staying in the 7th hole, man. This is Max Muncy. Max Muncy batting 7th. We'll see how long that lasts. And I think with Teoscar Hernandez slumping right now, I wouldn't mind seeing Max moved up in the order, especially right in this hot streak. Edman, next batter, he strikes out. Kiermaier, he reached on infield single to short, and then Ohtani, he ground out to the pitcher. So the Dodgers get 2 runs on 3 hits there in the bottom of the 4th inning to get their first 2, cut that 3-0 deficit down to 1, and then I thought he was fantastic. Top of the 5th inning, he gets Riley to fly to center, and then top of the 5th, too, is when we saw that play from Tommy Edman. A 1-0 count to Rosarena. He hits a hot shot, and Tommy Edman just dives, makes that play, and he makes a fantastic throw. And you see the ability of a Tommy Edman, a guy that the night prior was in center field where he's capable of playing above average center field, and then you jump right into playing shortstop. It's your 2nd game for Los Angeles Dodgers, and you make a play like that. That was really an incredible play, and I think he could be like the ultimate Dodgers Swiss Army knife player for the next couple seasons. As far as the defense that he has, he can be an above average bat as well. And he's also able to make something happen at the plate 2 nights in a row. So that's definitely very promising. But, I mean, the degree of difficulty for that play right there, that's why I think you're going to see some Tommy Edman playing shortstop in the postseason. And with his ability to switch hit, with his ability to play multiple positions, I'm just licking my chops just thinking about that defense in center field with Kevin Kiermaier and Tommy Edman to end games. That is going to be a major difference maker in that situation. And, yeah, I mean, that play was just a really fantastic play. I mean, the hit probability there, the hit probability on that play was extremely high. Let's kind of take a look at it here because I'm very excited to see what we saw from that, and that's winning baseball. That really is that's what that is. That's winning baseball from Tommy Edman, and when he's able to do that, just in his second game, matters what he's able to do when he's even more comfortable out there. And so that was 106.6 miles per hour off the bat, had a 680 expected batting average. So Tommy Edman, just unbelievable play right there. And it's a tight game. And I love the emotion from Alex Vesia. It's kind of, that to me was his welcome to the Dodgers moment right there. And then next batter, 3-2 count to Polanco. Nasty slider. He gets him looking at it. They get him to go down looking. Big punch out to end the inning. So bullpen, they were great tonight. And then you jump to top of the sixth. Ryan Brazier, 1-2-3 scoreless for Brazier. He's looked really good. And then he comes back out in the seventh inning, and he gets Robles looking at a sinker down the zone. And then Rodriguez, he was safe at first after that fielding error by Gavin Lux. And then Dave Roberts, first nice really button push tonight. He goes out there. Anthony Banda gives him the ball. And then Banda comes in. He strikes out Raleigh. Really, really nasty back foot slider. 87. I'm telling you, the Banda Express, pumping 97, nasty back foot slider. He's making a massive push to be a part of this postseason bullpen as well. And then JT, he hits for Rayleigh, and he gets Rayleigh to fly to right. And it was a big at-bat because he comes back down 3-0 in the count. And the sixth pitch, he gets him to fly out. Then, bottom of the seventh inning, JT at first base, Tommy Edman, 3-2 count. He doubles to right. You saw the speed, gets to second base, and that's what you want to see from Tommy Edman. The occasional base knock, the occasional extra base hit. Sometimes leave the yard, but the great defense is what you come first for, and then you go out there and you see him perform with the stick. In that situation for the Dodgers, it was massive because he sets the table. Kike hits for Kiermaier, who Kike flies down to center, and then Munoz comes in. Munoz pumping gas, one of the best relievers in the sport, to face Shohei Ohtani with Edman at second. And with Edman in second and one out, and Ohtani, he lined to first, and that brought up Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts' first pitch finds a slider that he can drive down the zone. He doubles to left to score Edman to tie things up, and they intentionally walk Freddie Freeman. And then Teoscar Hernandez on his bobblehead night. It looked like it was going to be his moment. On the 0-1, he singles to right. Mookie comes around to score, and he's thrown out at the plate. Really nice throw there by Haniger. It was close. Mookie's foot was kind of up. It looked like he possibly was able to get in there. But really my takeaway is Mookie's still getting warmed up. Mookie's definitely not as fast as he was a couple seasons ago. But still, the big hit by Mookie. They were able to tie things up to get one run on 3 hits. Should have done more, but still, they did enough to at least tie things up. I think Joe Kelly, too, he's someone who's working the edges right now really well. He gets the top of the 8th inning. Kike goes to center field. He gets Rosarena line to left. He does walk Polanco. So a 4-pitch walk to Polanco, and then Moore pinch hits for Polanco, and they need Joe Kelly strikes out Haniger, and then Moore was caught stealing second base, and this was after the Dodgers clearly had picked off Moore. And as you guys are pointing out, New York, I don't know, it's East Coast game, kind of late. Maybe they're falling asleep at the controls, but that wasn't out. And Joe Davis, one of my favorite calls of the year, the ball don't lie. After the strike him out, throw him out in that situation, you punch out Haniger, you get him looking at a slider down the zone. Then really nice throw there by Will Smith to gun down Moore for trying to steal second. In the bottom of the 8th inning, this was the money inning for the Dodgers and the moment of the game. So Gavin Lux, he grounds the pitcher for the first out. And then Will Smith, 0-2, struggling at the moment. He gets plunked by a 98-mile-per-hour Munoz heater right on the shoulder, so he takes first base. Then Max Muncy, he draws a walk on 4 pitches. That brings up Tommy Edman with runners on first and second and no outs. 3-2 count. He takes strike 3, looking a slider down in the zone. And then Jason Hayward, he pinch hits for Kike Hernandez. Great move by Dave Roberts. And Jay Hay, he gets himself into a hitter's count, a 2-1 count. And on the 4th pitch of the bat, he crushes a 3-run shot, and that puts the Dodgers up 6-3 at that point. Moment of the game, brings up Shohei Ohtani, who hits a big-time single, goes off the wall because it was hit so hard. Ohtani steals second for his 38th stolen base of the season, and then Betts grounds a short to end the inning. And then 9th inning, Daniel Hudson, he gets the jobs done. He did give up a double to Rivas, but Rivas was out at home on that runner's fielder's choice, and then Candace line to second to end the inning. So really nice win for the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani, if you look at the box score, he's someone that's been struggling of late by his standards. Good night for Show. 2 for 5, had a triple, stole another base. I thought he performed well. The top of that Dodgers lineup, Betts got a hit, Freeman got a hit, Teoscar got a hit, Lux got a homer, Muncy got a homer. He goes 1 for 2. Edman goes 1 for 4, the double. Kevin Kiermaier gets a knock as well. Freddie had the double. Betts had the double. Edman had a double, a triple by Ohtani. So great win for the Dodgers, best record in baseball. Okay, so let's open up to your takes for the rest of the show. What do you think the Dodgers should do with Walker Buehler? I want all your Walker Buehler takes down below in the comments section. So let's fire away, guys. We got what's the status of Yoshinobu Yamamoto? You guys want to talk some Yoshinobu Yamamoto, because things are certainly continuing to trend in the right direction for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And today we got some more news about Yamamoto. Kind of the last thing we saw, he did throw those 17 pitches in his live bullpen session last week. Then he went to St. Louis and he faced hitters in St. Louis, and that went well through 40 pitches. And for Yamamoto, what we're waiting for next is, when are we going to see him go on a rehab assignment? And just being there, talking to Yamamoto, and what he said was basically Yoshinobu Yamamoto is on his way. I think you're going to see him back with the Dodgers early September, possibly late August. And basically the next big step for him is just to continue to throw these bullpens, throw these simulated games, which he's throwing tomorrow at Dodger Stadium. He's going 2 simulated innings tomorrow. And so that's the plan. 2 simulated innings tomorrow, and then 3 simulated innings after that. Then following that, you'll see him begin his rehab assignment. He's already stated that he was going to need 2 rehab starts to get back into the fold and be ready to start back at the big league level. And then you're going to see him back. So basically what you're looking for now with Yamamoto is just no setbacks, no drop off in velocity, no soreness, nothing nagging, nothing lingering, and he's going to be back in this rotation. And once that happens, then everything gets a little more clearer and you get more clarity about his future. But I will say, when you look at the time of that, you're bumping up against it a little bit. I mean, you look at September at the very earliest. It just went in September. Could this be a week into September? Could it be 2 weeks into September? So at this point, it's just about getting him 100% for the postseason and just making sure he's ready to go for the bright lights of October, for that stretch run. So I think, for me, I like what I've heard. Ideally, though, he would have been a little ahead of the curve a couple weeks ago, and then you're going to get him back for the full month of September. I think right now you're looking deeper into September than which we kind of originally thought. But the things are looking up. I mean, as long as there's no setbacks, you're going to see Yamamoto in the postseason. That's what it's all about. That's why they gave him the $325 million man. We got Gavin Lux gave you a new bruh meme. He definitely did. We're going to update that. But for sure, D.com. What up, Christian Reyes? Smacks Muncy, really him. That's from John Fernandez. Good to see the bazooka in the dugout cheering on the team. Go get him, baby. Yeah, that's another big update as well. I mean, what a major change of emotions right there. I mean, the fact that it looked like he had a grade 3 strain, he just dropped that Instagram post where he was talking about, oh, thank you for all your support and this and that. It felt like it was over for Brusdar Graterol, but we get more encouraging updates, it feels like, every single day. And Dave Roberts, he told us yesterday, Brusdar is supposed to throw a pen sometime this week. I think this guy, I don't know how he went from carrying him from off the mound 2 weeks ago to now he's throwing bullpens, but that's where we are. And Dave also said he's a quick healer, so that's a good thing for the Dodgers. So definitely some positive news. And I think he's another guy too He's almost kind of the bullpen version of Yamamoto in the sense that the sooner you get him back, the sooner you can truly evaluate what you have in him. And if that's the case, and he's providing a boost to that pen, you're seeing the sinker, you're seeing the soft contact, hitting triple digits occasionally. He was the Dodgers' best reliever last season. Make no mistake about it. He could provide a huge lift. And you just want to keep all these arms as options. And then whoever's pitching the best, when it matters most, towards the end of September and October, that's who you go with. So all these guys that are on the fringes to finding roles on this team, they're all competing with their own teammates while their team is competing to finish with the best record in the baseball and win the division. But Lux needs to be a meme. Lux is a meme. What are you talking about? He is a meme. I like Max Muncy at the bottom of the order, 6 or 7. That's from Los Doyers. Otani has been too streaky. Let's hope he's on the right side of the streak in October. Exactly. I mean, that's what I was saying earlier is at least he's timing this streak up properly. Ray Soto, D-Mac burning the midnight oil for us. Yeah, you know what it is. You know what it is. Alex, damn, I'm late. Sick green screen D-Mac. Oh, thanks, Alex. You know, we got to switch it up sometimes, you know. And look, it's true. I mean, as it's late night after dark. I mean, it'd be weird if I'm in the daytime at Dodger Stadium, but for sure. We got the Tony Meyer. CT should be DFA'd and let him sit